Give a plate out to some starving talent.
Nigga, shut the fuck up. That's what you should have told your mom. See? I was about to fat shame. Your mom not even fat for real. She just old and ugly. Also, Chad, somebody sent me this and they said, I need you to be updated on the David story as it follows. I had questions in the sense that I wanted to know. Well, not necessarily. I didn't really want to know because I'm already kind of the awareness that, you know, the law doesn't want to fuck this up. You know, they don't want to muddy the waters any more than they already are. And I feel like out of confirmation for everything, they want to get to every possible lead to make sure that when they nail this dude to the cross, you know, they don't have any stone left unturned. Me personally, that's what I would want to do if, you know, what the fuck is this? Oh my God. That's what I would want to do if it were, you know what I'm saying, if it were me. I would want to make sure all my T's were crossed, all my I's dotted. I talked to every witness. I looked through every scenario. I made every possible connection. I went through all the messages. I got phone records. I got Discord documents. I got Discord records. I got, you know, phone calls. I got security camera footage. I got the Tesla. Doesn't the Tesla record, chat? Or can you turn off the setting or something like that? Doesn't it, like, does it record audio? Does it record video? Like, it's all types of shit. We got to go through every social media. I got to go through every contact. I got to go through your mom's contact, how many times she called you, the cell phone tower. I got to get everything, is basically what I'm saying. So I understand why he hasn't been charged / arrested yet, but I do believe that day is coming sooner than people think. You're saying the internet did 80% of the work. And I also will agree with that in the sense that I like how forthcoming, even though I don't like how many people seem to have like little bits and pieces of information that this could have gotten out before she was really put in danger for real. But I do like how so much information and just even the smallest or tiniest of clue is being brought up as like potential evidence against David, because there shouldn't be any doubt in your mind that there was something at the very least inappropriate with him and this young girl that was happening. And I like that most people, no matter what their takes generally are, seem to be on board with the idea that no matter what happened, no matter if he had a hand in her no longer being here, something was completely strange and out of whack before we ever got to this stage. You get what I'm saying? I like that I do see most sectors of the net on board with that idea. You know what I mean?
Helping that, new details following a grisly discovery in Hollywood. A 15-year-old girl found dead inside a singer's Tesla. Now Fox 11's Gina Silva is digging into their mysterious connection.
Look at the description that you have of him. At best, he's an innocent pedo. At worst, he's a murderer and a pedo. It's he cooked regardless.
Gina Silva.
That's her in my classroom.
Now here's a clip of a teacher, I guess who was, you know, a teacher to Celeste at one point, detailing that, you know, he knew about this and her, and there were other students involved potentially. So this is even worse.
In front of...
A teacher is captured on cell phone video telling his students that Celeste Rivas, the 15-year-old girl found dead inside singer David Anthony Burke's Tesla, had been his student and that he knew she had run away a couple of times.
So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA.
TMZ was the first to report on the teacher's comments.
There's certainly photo and video evidence that she was most likely with David. They were hanging out together. It's unclear if this was a romantic relationship.
Rivas' teacher put out a video and it made...
This is the thing too. It doesn't matter if he makes the distinction. This is the worst. You can't unlink yourself from this little girl. You just can't. There's no excuse that he can give. There's not one. What are you gonna say? I drove her home, or nah, we really connected about what? She wanted to stay with me for what? Why didn't you take her back home? Why does she have your contact information? Why are y'all talking? How did you get like in the same proximity? There's too many questions that I know he wouldn't have an answer for. Because there isn't an answer for that. That's the point. There's not a reason for you to be in close proximity with a child and you're 20, 21 years old. There's no reason.
Maybe the smoking gun in the case.
Nima Rahmani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, says the teacher's claims are damaging because Celeste was only 13 when she first went missing in April 2024. If investigators can...
She was 13 when she went missing.
Confirmed she ran away with David at that time, he would have been 18.
The mere fact that an 18-year-old is in the presence of a 13-year-old but runaway is not unlawful. But if there's any sexual activity, if there is any force or coercion, that could be kidnapping, that could be rape, that could be trafficking. That's the exposure that David has, setting aside the fact that she's now been found dead.
One day after the medical examiner identified the remains in the Tesla as those of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, LAPD investigators served a search warrant at David's home in the Hollywood Hills on Wednesday night, seizing electronics and computers.
This is wow, bro.
Ironically, David first broke into the music scene in 2022. Romantic Homicide went viral on TikTok. Social media users are now pointing to his music videos, noting that they feature a woman resembling Celeste. There's also one scene showing a body being placed in a trunk.
In terms of...
This shit is just nuts, man. It is. You think to yourself, like, there's nobody insane or crazy enough or weird enough, demented, deranged enough to do something like that. You truly think it's not possible. And especially someone at his size that is as visible as he's been the last, year and a half, 2 years or so. So I do think that most people who looked at the situation at first glance just kind of assumed or gave him benefit of the doubt because that's what celebrities are afforded typically in situations like this. You're too big to be doing something wrong and we not see it. It actually makes it look like it's actually like a knock against people that are like paying attention to him in any stretch of the word. Because it's like, okay, what the fuck have you been looking at? If you feel like you would have noticed or you should have noticed, something like that. But it's something that everybody still falls for till this day.
Of incriminating
They always get the privilege of benefit of the doubt.
evidence. At this point, it is not clear he did anything wrong. It is his car. This victim, this decedent, and he obviously knew each other. They had matching tattoos, but I have not seen anything reported in the media that he was responsible or is responsible for her tragic death.
Former prosecutor, now criminal defense attorney Dimitri Gorin says while the court of public opinion may already believe David was involved in Celeste's death, proving it in court will be far more difficult.
A plausible reason of what happened possibly is that she had access to his car, he travels the world, and somebody, one of her friends, somebody else, harmed her and put her in the car.
This gonna be the defense? This will probably be the defense.
David was supposed to perform at the
They just so happen to choose his car to do it, though, I guess.
Greek tomorrow night. That has been canceled. In fact, his world tour has been canceled as well. And Christine, authorities are saying that he...
And again, if best case scenario for David, that is the reality of the situation, cool, you're not a murderer. You're still a pedophile. You still have an odd relationship, or had an odd relationship with who at the time you would have met at like a 12 or 11-year-old girl, courting her when she was running away at 13 years old. She's found dead a year later. Like, maybe you're not this, but you're still, it's just as bad, if not worse.
He is being very cooperative. He's helping them with the investigation.
There's no good angle for David out of this situation. There's just not. There's just not.
It's obvious he did it, but I really hope something insanely concrete comes out and he's put away forever, cuss him. Not trying to hear the losers that stick by him going, but he was ruled innocent if that happens.
I'm trying to think. Because I don't see anyone. I wouldn't see anyone like jumping out the window on that. I just feel like the consensus right now seems to very much so be like, oh yeah, like everybody seems to be in favor of like, yeah, he got something to do with this. I don't feel like there's gonna be many people, even if he were, like I said, proven innocent of the murder, that would overlook the relationship that they had. That's a little too far. You know what I mean? So to argue the point, I feel like it just makes you look weird. You know what I mean? There there's technical terms for. I didn't know that there were technical terms for the type of people. Like there's different stages. And this is gonna sound disgusting. There are technically different stages for the types of children that a demented or a sick mind can be attracted to. And there's like different philias at the end of it. I don't know what the exact description for each of them are, but there's like a version for one that's attracted to prepubescent, one that's attracted to like teen, and then one like within age ranges. But the point is to argue the difference between them makes you look insane. There's no point in making a distinction between any of the files, because that makes you look crazy. In the same way that I don't really feel like anybody would try to go out of their way to defend, oh, but he didn't murder her if he was in a sexual relationship with her. There's just no defense for him at all. It doesn't matter what he did at this point. You're involved in a very strange way. You got to get the fuck out of here. You get what I'm saying? It just wouldn't matter. But yeah, he's extremely nasty. This is not what I would have imagined, though. Somebody saying that there was that body found, or that was her body 2 weeks ago when I first heard about this. I never imagined it would get to this. Ever in like a million years, I never imagined it would get this far. That's nuts to me. It's nuts, it's sick, it's twisted. And even worse, it's almost like he's in such a position that he doesn't even... Like, he's in a position where you would imagine it would be so difficult for him to even retain, like, company or proximity with this young girl. You would think there are so many changes and differences between the two, socially, economically, that they would never even be in the same space. This is like you purposefully going out of your way to interact with someone who would never be in your worldview had you been moving like a normal person. Which makes this 10, 20, 30 times sicker. You got access to so many other types of individuals out there, and this is what you choose is nuts. And he cannot explain himself out of that. He can't. You cannot give me a reason why you would be in any relationship, platonic, sexual, whatever, with this young girl. There's no reason. There's no reason at all. There's just no reason, man. Shit nuts, man. So many pedos getting exposed. Chief, keep that guy from FaZe and David. People were looking at this TikTok reposts, and he's just a violent, demented pedophile. Like, he's been looking crazier every single day. I think this should definitely be a major teaching lesson for kids to be incredibly cautious on the internet. The grooming is insane on Discord, Roblox, etc. I agree. Like I said, despite what I said before, I don't want to have to police children. I don't want to have to police people that are pretty much victimized by this type of behavior on a regular basis. But at the end of the day, like, either I over-police my kid or they could be potentially at risk to something like this. It is what it is. It is policing to an extent. It is. Because your kids shouldn't have to worry about stuff like that. And now they have to have in their mind that the world is like much more unsafe than they would normally just be interacting with it because their minds are youthful or pure, whatever the case might be. But I'm not saying it's not necessary. I'm not saying it's not necessary. Do what you got to do to protect your little ones. Like, at the end of the day, I'm never going to look at somebody and be like, oh my God, why are you overbearing? Like, no. If you got to go through a phone, go through a phone. If you got to go through the laptop, go through the laptop. You got to check the Discord. Obviously, the fucking Discord. You got to look through their Instagram or their phone records and shit like that. Do it. If that's what you feel like you got to do to keep kids safe, then do it at the end of the day. It feels like shit, but I'd rather that reality where you're like dealing with an overbearing parent than a sick fucking, I don't know what to call them, that's preying on children. Text messages, phone call history, and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, if you got to. Especially if you feel like something's going on, or you recognize that your child is moving like odd. I feel like you could really easily pick up on stuff like that when your kid is starting to behave differently, or you just notice that you're seeing them significantly less, or they're, entertaining company that they don't usually keep. Like, that's generally grounds for, all right, let me look into this a little bit. I'm not trying to say you need to hover, but be aware of what your kids are doing. Let your kids play internet games and shit like that. Introduce you to internet friends. They need to be healthy boundary and trust. Sure, but your kid's not gonna tell you everything. I get it though. That's the fucked up part, bro. As a parent, you're never gonna be able to be everywhere at all times. They're never gonna be under constant protection, or you're never gonna feel like they're under constant protection. So you have to instill whatever rules or guidelines, boundaries that you can to get them to help defend themselves against what you might feel is indefensible. But I'm all for it. Any parent that feel like they gotta protect their kids, I'm not about to be the person to be like, nah, you doing too much. We live in an insane world where there's niggas that are, gonna be approaching their mid-20s that are going out of their way to interact with kids. You're on movie soundtracks, TV show soundtracks that are popular and popping. You got records with SZA. You're doing tours. What the fuck are you doing here? Where are you trying to be and for what? This is just, I don't even want to know. Like, this is just nuts. So now, I'm not trying to put it out there like that, bro. But it's still weird. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. But now people should understand a little bit more why he who shall not be named messaging a girl, even if they claim platonic or text messages and screenshots were shown of the exact nature of those messages, why people called it weird a year and a half, 2 years ago, whenever those messages got, released, or whatever they were. Like, it's strange. People see a kid, they see an adult that has no relation to the kid, they're gonna call that weird, and that's normal to say. That is normal to call that behavior weird because it typically leads other places. And even if it doesn't, why the fuck, what are y'all talking about? Even if it doesn't, what are y'all talking about? There's nothing for y'all to talk about. I'm sorry. Keep it work. If you want to talk to them, talk to me. You want to talk to my kid, talk to me. If you're going out of your way to exclude parents from conversation, I'm sorry, bro. You just are a weirdo. You a weird nigga. I'm sorry, bro. There's just no reason. We don't need to talk. I'm gonna be cordial. You always gonna be my little man's little sis, whatever the case is. We just stay over there. It is what it is. How far are we from living in Black Mirror where parents chip their kids to track them? They do that though, right? Or am I tripping? Ain't it plenty of chip kids already? Well, not like literally in their body maybe, but like they got shit on them. I'm pretty sure my nephew got one too. It's not an implant, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's basically the same thing. That's not a problem, I feel like, especially when they're little, when they're young. That's nothing. That's normal. I'm fully on board with that. Our government just passed a law prohibiting children under 16 from being on social media. I mean, if that's what's necessary. Yeah, I mean, shit, it might be necessary. It might be necessary. It's fucked up, but Pedo's gonna find a way, though. Clearly. But it'd be a lot more difficult for them to find a way if they didn't have these mediums to do it on. That shit just, wow, man. Doesn't mean we should stop trying. Oh yeah, make it as hard as you possibly can. Don't feel like your efforts are in vain, or that you're gonna contribute to a society where you're a nuisance or a pest for arguing for child safety. If that's what you gotta do, then do all that you gotta do. This girl should be 15 years old today. She should be looking forward to passing her driver's test, getting her first car, getting her first job. She should be looking forward to maybe going to school if she wants to, traveling the world. Her life was cut infinitely short. 15 years old, to discount the first 3 to 4 years of your mind not even really fully being conscious yet, or even remembering some of those experiences. Like, you really only got 10 smooth years in this life. She did. Not even 10. I don't know when, like 13, 14 years old is when she was murdered. You got maybe a smooth 9 years, 8, maybe 9 years of conscious living experience on this planet that you only get one opportunity to live, and it's cut short by a pedophile. Your literal whole life ahead of you, your literal entire life ahead of you, cut short by this. Shit's disgusting. It's nuts. I can't even imagine. And you start thinking about certain things like this, like, oh yeah, I remember, man, things could have been it for me if I had went at this point. Died at 15, 16, 17. Like, imagine going that young, all these plans, all these thoughts, all these things that you want to do, and just, there should be no sympathy for this nigga, bro, at all. It is what it is. Apparently, this was also sent saying that his subreddit was locked after Redditors accused him of moderating it. Now, I did a little bit more digging on this one, and they did say that there was information that they had about him having moderated it before. Whenever it was moderated and whenever there were certain posts or certain releases, it would be him that was doing it. So in this sense, they're saying, okay, we still believe that he's moderating it, and all these posts and all these like accusations are now being removed from the Reddit, and now I believe his Reddit is completely locked. They're facing backlash after Redditors accused him of being the sole moderator, allegedly deleting critical posts of him amid the ongoing police investigation. I wish I could find some of those posts, but I've been unable to. Bro, worried about his Reddit right now? I don't know what he thinks stopping the Reddit is gonna do. I don't know. Like, actually, to be fair, I understand the worry, because there's actually a lot of information that's come out about the Reddit, from the Reddit. There's a lot of information that's come out about this situation from Twitter. There's a lot of information that's come out about this from social media. Not that I'm for it, but yeah, you probably a little too late on that, gang. I'm gonna be honest. You a little too late. They literally got you in 4K in certain locations. Like, I don't think you're getting out of this as smoothly as you think you are. It's clearly this nigga isn't a logical person. It's clear this nigga isn't right in the head. We've got no reason to believe he's a logical person. I mean, trying to cover your tracks after you do something wrong, But this ain't doing nothing wrong, bro. This is just... I just hope that they find what they need soon, because I have a very bad feeling, especially since there isn't any social media activity from David whatsoever. I have a really bad feeling that he's going to try something before they get to him. If their investigation gets too far and they haven't charged or arrested him yet, this is the only downside to them being thorough. I understand how thorough you need to be to make sure that you don't mess this up, and so that there's no way out of it in case you find something that's like damning and we can put this concretely on him. But the more time they take, the more he has time to sit with his thoughts, fester everything, think about what he's done, the relationship that he had with this young girl, and things can just go wrong when you're left in solitude, especially when you did do something. So I hope they get on it sooner rather than later. He gonna try and leave? I don't think leaving is an option. Now, I wouldn't say that this case is more popular than David as, like, through his career. I wouldn't say that, but it's so visible to a point where I don't think he's going anywhere where somebody won't recognize him. Granted, this is... Would y'all consider this, like, national type news? I don't think so yet. I don't feel like it is. It don't feel like that. It's big news to me and for people that are, like, within the music sector. But I don't know how people respond to this that are outside of that demo. It is gaining a lot of attention, though. It is gaining a lot of attention, but it's not at the level where that, you know, the girl who was on a road trip with her boyfriend, and he did the same thing. He dismembered her, chopped her up, and then murdered her, and then they questioned him later, or whatever the case is. Like, I feel like it would need to be that level of attention on something like this. Petito, yes, that's what her name is. I think that was her name. My friends outside the know are aware of him now. I think the whole digital safety questions is what's making people pay attention. I hope so. I hope people pay attention to the fact that this is a child, and people that were already on the fence, scrutinizing the lack of moderation on social media for children and the lack of safety. Hopefully this makes it more popular than it normally would be, so that more parents can get involved and they can start, you know, chiming in with their 2 cents too. Because this could have been prevented. This easily could have been prevented, bro. Unfortunate as everything is right now. Hold on. The fuck is this, man? What is this nigga sending me? How you stop shit like this legitimately? I don't think you're ever gonna fully stop something like this, but like I said, the point is to make it harder. The point is to make it as hard as possible for people that are into stuff like that to have access to it. Just like how, you know, it's insane that, like, he's contextual in this in some regard, but like how Charlie Kirk was saying that rather than implementing more policies for people that are attracted to children, and how he would just relinquish everything and make his daughter give birth to what would be her sexual assaulter's baby, you put more effort into trying to be proactive so you don't have to be reactive to situations like this. Just like him saying that, like, oh, he thinks a couple gun deaths are worth it if it means people have access to their rights. And look what happens when you fight less for being proactive. You're basically saying, okay, everything's fair game. Like, we don't need regulation on stuff like this. We don't need for people to be monitored. Like, yeah, you do. You need to fight for that type of shit on a regular basis. Crime's inevitable no matter how brutal, sure, but you got to make it as difficult as possible to commit and make it as unattractive as humanly possible to the people looking to do it. But, hey, man, we're going to find out more about this David situation probably within this week. I would want to say. I definitely think they're running out of time though. David's best case scenario is solitary confinement in darkness or death. Anything else, he's gonna be literally cooked alive. We gonna see, but ain't that much time left is all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna lie, dude. What the fuck is this? I'm being dead ass. What is this? What do you mean Talala Kipape?